86. Yuan Shao's Massacre of the Eunuchs. After the shock of the Yellow Turban Rebellion, the Eastern Han dynasty was already on the brink of collapse. When Emperor Ling of Han died, a fierce power struggle erupted between the imperial relatives and the eunuchs, accelerating the empire's downfall. In 189 AD, the 14-year-old Prince Liu Bian ascended to the throne, becoming Emperor Shao of Han. As per tradition, Empress Dowager He acted as regent, while her brother, General-in-Chief He Jin, held real power. One of the eunuchs, Jian Shao, a former commander of the imperial guards, plotted to assassinate He Jin but failed. After He Jin seized control, he had Jian Shao arrested and executed. Among He Jin's subordinates was Yuan Shao, an officer of the Central Army. Yuan Shao was a descendant of a prestigious aristocratic family. His ancestors had held the highest government positions for 4 generations. Many court and provincial officials had once been students or subordinates of the Yuan family, giving them immense influence. With Jian Shao dead, Yuan Shao urged He Jin to eradicate the eunuchs once and for all. He warned, in the past, Dou attempted to eliminate the eunuchs but failed because of a leaked secret. The eunuchs killed him instead. Now that you control the military, you must rid the empire of this menace. Do not miss this opportunity. However, He Jin hesitated and sought the Empress Dowager's approval. Empress Dowager He adamantly refused. Undeterred, Yuan Shao devised another plan. He suggested that He Jin secretly summon troops from various provinces to the capital, forcing the Empress Dowager to agree to eliminate the eunuchs. He Jin found this idea appealing and began calling in troops to pressure the imperial court. He Jin's chief secretary, Chen Lin, strongly opposed the move, warning, "You already have enough troops to deal with a few eunuchs. It would be as easy as burning a few strands of hair in a furnace. But if you summon outside forces into the capital, it would be like handing a knife to someone else. You are inviting disaster." Yet He Jin ignored Chen Lin's warning. Among the various provincial forces, he believed the strongest belonged to Dong Zhuo, the governor of Bingju, covering most of modern Shaanxi and parts of Inner Mongolia and Hebei. He saw Dong Zhuo as the best ally and sent a letter instructing him to bring his troops to Luoyang immediately. The eunuchs quickly caught wind of this scheme. Realizing their imminent danger, they conspired, "If we do not act now, we are finished." They laid a trap within the imperial palace, secretly stationing dozens of armed guards. They then forged an imperial decree, summoning He Jin to the palace. As soon as He Jin entered the palace, the eunuchs ambushed and killed him. Upon hearing of He Jin's assassination, Yuan Shao immediately ordered his brother, Yuan Shu, to storm the palace. Yuan Shu set fire to the palace gates, and soldiers poured inside, killing every eunuch in sight. Many men who were not eunuchs but simply beardless were mistakenly executed as well. This brutal massacre left both the eunuchs and the imperial relatives severely weakened. Meanwhile, Dong Zhuo arrived with his army in Luoyang. Dong Zhuo seizes power. Dong Zhuo, originally a warlord from Liangzhu, covering modern Gansu, Ningxia, and parts of Qinghai and Inner Mongolia, had built a strong power base by allying with Chong tribal chieftains in the northwest. During the Yellow Turban Rebellion, he gained prominence by suppressing rebel forces and was promoted to governor of Bingju. He had long harbored ambitions of seizing control of the Central Plains, and He Jin's summons gave him the perfect opportunity. Arriving in Luoyang with 3,000 troops, Dong Zhuo sought to consolidate power. However, he realized his forces were too small to dominate the capital. To create an illusion of strength, he deployed a psychological trick. Under the cover of night, he led his troops outside the city. The next day, they dramatically re-entered with great fanfare. He repeated this tactic several times, creating the false impression that he had a massive army. The soldiers who had once served under He Jin, seeing Dong Zhuo's growing power, quickly defected to his side. Soon, Dong Zhuo had complete control over Luoyang's military forces. The deposition of Emperor Shao. Determined to rule without opposition, Dong Zhuo decided to depose the young Emperor Shao and replace him with his younger brother, Prince Liu Xie, the Prince of Chenliu. Knowing that the Yuan family was the most powerful aristocratic force in Luoyang, Dong Zhuo sought Yuan Shao's approval. "I believe Prince Liu Xie is a more capable ruler than the current emperor," Dong Zhuo said. "I plan to make him emperor. What do you think?" Yuan Shao responded, "The emperor is young and has only just ascended the throne. He has committed no crimes. If you depose him, the people will not accept it." Furious, Dong Zhuo glared at Yuan Shao, gripping the hilt of his sword, and threatened, "I hold supreme power now. Who dares oppose me? Do you doubt the sharpness of my blade?" Equally enraged, Yuan Shao retorted, "Do you think you are the only hero in this world, Dong Zhuo?" He then drew his sword and stormed out. Realizing Dong Zhuo would not let him live, he fled to Jizhou, covering central and southern Hebei, parts of Shandong, and northern Henan. His brother, Yuan Shao, also escaped Luoyang and fled to Nanyang, modern-day Henan. With the Yuan brothers gone, Dong Zhuo seized full control of the court. He gathered the officials and formally announced the deposition of Emperor Shao, replacing him with Liu Xie, who was enthroned as Emperor Xian of Han. Dong Zhuo appointed himself Chancellor of State, Xianghua, taking absolute power. Dong Zhuo's tyranny. Dong Zhuo was notoriously cruel and ruthless. Once he became chancellor, he indulged his army, allowing them to plunder and massacre innocent civilians. One infamous atrocity occurred when a temple fair was held in Yangcheng, southeast of modern Dengfeng, Henan. Thousands of civilians gathered for the event. Dong Zhuo ordered his troops to slaughter every man at the fair, abducted the women, and looted their belongings. Using stolen ox carts from the farmers, his soldiers paraded back to Luoyang, shouting "Long live the victory," as if they had won a great battle. His tyrannical rule threw Luoyang into chaos, forcing many officials to flee. Among them was Cao Cao, a talented officer who would later rise to prominence in the Three Kingdoms era. 87. Cao Cao raises an army. Cao Cao was born in Chao County, Paigua, modern-day Boizhou, Anhui Province. His father, Cao Song, was the adopted son of a eunuch. From a young age, Cao Cao was known for his intelligence, sharp wit, and ability to handle affairs efficiently. At the time, there was a well-known scholar named Xu Shao, who was famous for his ability to evaluate people's character. When Cao Cao was still young, he sought out Xu Shao and asked for an assessment of himself. Xu Shao said, "If the world is peaceful, you will be a capable minister. But if the world is in chaos, you will be a treacherous hero." At the age of 20, Cao Cao was appointed as the captain of Luang's northern district, a position responsible for maintaining law and order in the northern part of the capital. Upon taking office, he ordered craftsmen to make more than 25 colored wooden rods, which he hung around his government office. He issued strict laws stating that anyone who violated them, no matter their social status, would be punished with these rods. At that time, Jian Shuo's uncle was a notorious bully who used his nephew's influence to run rampant in Luoyang, committing crimes without fear of consequences. One night, he was caught causing trouble while carrying a weapon, violating Cao Cao's new law. Ignoring his powerful background, Cao Cao arrested him and had him beaten with the 5 colored rods. Unable to withstand the punishment, the man died on the spot. This incident shocked the entire city. Many praised Cao Cao for his fearless enforcement of the law, but the eunuchs hated and feared him. Eventually, they arranged for his transfer out of Luoyang, appointing him as a mere county magistrate. Cao Cao's rise amidst the Yellow Turban Rebellion. During the Yellow Turban Rebellion, Emperor Ling of Han promoted Cao Cao to colonel of cavalry and sent him to Yingchuan, modern-day Yuzhou, Henan, to suppress the rebels. He successfully defeated Bo Cai, a Yellow Turban leader. Seeing his military capabilities, the Han court rewarded him with a promotion to Chancellor of Jinan Commandery. After several years in this post, he eventually returned to Luoyang. When Dong Zhuo seized Luoyang, he sought to win over talented officials with lavish promotions and rewards. Learning of Cao Cao's reputation, he appointed him as colonel of the elite cavalry. However, Cao Cao saw through Dong Zhuo's tyranny, realizing that his brutal rule would not last. Instead of serving under him, Cao Cao fled from Luoyang at great personal risk, escaping to Chenliu, modern-day Kaifeng, Henan, where his father owned some property. Cao Cao gathers troops to oppose Dong Zhuo. In Chenliu, Cao Cao obtained his father's consent to spend the family fortune on recruiting soldiers. A wealthy landowner, Wei Zi, also provided substantial funds and grain to support him. Before long, Cao Hong, Cao Cao's cousin, arrived with 1,000 troops to join him. Gradually, Cao Cao built an army of over 5,000 men. As he trained his troops, He also dispatched spies to gather intelligence from all corners of the land. Since the Yellow Turban Rebellion, many provinces and commanderies had formed their own private armies. Several provincial governors and commandery administrators had ambitions of establishing their own power bases. When Luoyang fell into chaos, these warlords used the excuse of resisting Dong Zhuo to raise their own armies. Among them, the most prominent leader was Yuan Shao. After breaking ties with Dong Zhuo in Luoyang, Yuan Shao fled to Jizhou and became the administrator of Bohai Commandery. Coming from an aristocratic family, he had strong connections with Han Fu, the governor of Jizhou, who was once a subordinate of the Yuan family. This allowed Yuan Shao to quickly gather troops in Bohai. The formation of the anti-Dong Zhuo coalition. In 190 AD, warlords across China joined forces to resist Dong Zhuo. A coalition army of over 100,000 troops gathered at Xuanzhou, southwest of modern-day Yangjin, Henan. The warlords elected Yuan Shao as their leader. When news of the coalition reached Luoyang, Dong Zhuo became nervous. Despite opposition from his ministers, he decided to move Emperor Xian and over 1 million civilians to Chang'an, leaving Luoyang behind to deal with the coalition. As he forcibly evacuated the city, he set fire to Luoyang, burning down the imperial palace, government offices, and residential areas. The flames spread across 200 miles, destroying everything. The people of Luoyang were forced to flee, and countless individuals died of starvation, were trampled, or were killed along the way. Meanwhile, the coalition army at Xuanzhou remained passive. Instead of attacking Dong Zhuo, the warlords hesitated, each wary of sacrificing their own forces. At a military meeting in Yuan Shao's camp, Cao Cao spoke out boldly. "We all raised our armies to eliminate Dong Zhuo. Now, he has kidnapped the emperor and burned the capital. The people are terrified. This is the perfect time to strike. Why are you all hesitating?" Despite his passionate speech, the other warlords showed no enthusiasm. Even Yuan Shao, the coalition leader, was reluctant to act, so no one wanted to be the first to move. Cao Cao's failed attack on Dong Zhuo. Realizing that the coalition lacked real commitment, Cao Cao decided to act alone. He led his 5,000 troops toward Chengao, near modern-day Xinjiang, Henan, to engage Dong Zhuo's forces. Dong Zhuo, having anticipated the attack, had already stationed a large force led by General Xu Rong along the Bianxie River, southwest of modern-day Xinjiang, Henan. As soon as Cao Cao's army arrived, they were ambushed. Vastly outnumbered, Cao Cao's troops quickly collapsed. As he retreated, he was shot in the shoulder by an arrow. Struggling to escape, his horse was also hit, throwing him to the ground. Xu Rong's soldiers closed in, shouting in pursuit. At this critical moment, Cao Hong arrived just in time. Jumping off his horse, he helped Cao Cao back on and urged him to flee. Riding Cao Hong's horse, Cao Cao narrowly escaped death. The collapse of the anti-Dong Zhuo coalition. Having suffered heavy losses, Cao Cao returned to Xuanzhou, only to find that the allied warlords were still unwilling to fight. Instead of preparing for battle, they spent their days drinking and feasting. Furious, Cao Cao stormed into their banquet hall and rebuked them. "You all raised your armies in the name of justice, yet you sit here, drinking and hesitating. The people of the empire placed their hopes in you, but you disappoint them. I am ashamed for you." Not long after, the coalition army ran out of supplies. With no provisions left, the warlords disbanded and returned to their respective territories. Cao Cao's new strategy. After this failed campaign, Cao Cao realized that he could not rely on the other warlords to accomplish great things. He decided to rebuild his forces on his own. He traveled south to Yangzhou, covering areas south of the Huai River in modern Anhui and Jiangsu, to recruit more soldiers and prepare for his next move. This marked the beginning of Cao Cao's independent rise to power, which would eventually lead him to dominate northern China.